Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Members, we've heard a lot on the floor today about ACA 5, and I have to tell you, I was here in 2013 when this conversation came up, and it was quite a conversation. There was not an agreement, and it actually caused quite a bit of, I think, frustration to the author, Dr. Shirley Weber, because we could not get that on the floor. It was actually tabled. And now, in 2020, we stand here with this on the floor, and I wasn't ready to jump in. As I've said a few times on this floor, these are difficult votes, these are tough votes, and in my district, I've seen more than a few times when you take a vote, there's a consequence. And I have received many, many hundreds of letters to say, do not support ACA 5. Matter of fact, a leading person in my district wrote, please don't vote on ACA 5. That is a racist policy. I've received many responses saying this lets people get ahead of someone else when they don't deserve it. But I'm going to quickly share a few of my stories. In 1996, I was 32 years old with 3 young children, 7 years old, 6 years old, and a 3-year-old, and a classroom teacher. I had been teaching for almost 10 years by that time, and right after Prop 209, I went back to the classroom, and our bilingual programs were dismantled. So within a short few months, children that were in bilingual programs that were learning that way, those programs were dismantled. We had been trained in various practices through the state of California, and they were just erased. With that being said, if you were a person of color, particularly in my neighborhood, Orange County, Fullerton, we were tracked. We were tracked right into bilingual programs, whether we were bilingual or not. And that meant usually not an option for college. I was the first in my family to go to college, but many of my counselors in high school didn't even think that I was a candidate, as I came from a family of 10, and nobody in my family had been to college before. But the point is that we were often discounted. Housing policies in my area, Latino families were pushed into one neighborhood. And that was a policy at that time. So when we look to now and we talk about this policy, there is a huge difference between equity and equality. And that is so hard for people. They really want everything to be fair. But as we know, everything is not fair, and that's the whole point here. So with my colleague to the north, I do agree. We have much change that needs to be made in public education. We are failing some of our students, and that is why, as a local elected, I started the achievement gap conversation that 10 years ago we wouldn't even respond to. There was no achievement gap, which we know is not true. So I stand here as someone that, yes, had to be pushed a little bit to get here, but Dr. Weber always has that effect on me. She knows that I'm always going to get there, but these aren't easy votes. And I have been on this floor more than a few times and have said, sometimes you got to take a hard vote, and it's not easy, but I'm willing to do that because it means so much to so many of our families. And the more we increase the value to our people of color, Black, Latino students, all ethnicities, we all rise. So I ask for your support for ACA